Welcome to this week's episode of eThekwini Matters. My name is Zimbili Mazibuko, your host. Today we are diving into the vibrant celebration of Diwali, especially as it's celebrated here in South Africa and mainly in Durban. Diwali, known as the Festival of Lights, is a significant occasion for the Indian Hindu community. Our guest today is Dr. Nuthan Maharaj, an urban development specialist and program manager for the Economic Development Unit and the first Hindu female priest to bless a presidential inauguration in South Africa. Dr. Maharaj, welcome to the show.
Thank you. And thank you to eThekwini for this opportunity. And I appreciate, I'm privileged actually to share my perspective and experiences of Deepavali or Diwali as we know it.
It's a pleasure. Let's start with a bit of background. The Indian Hindu community in South Africa has a very rich history. Could you share a bit about this community and how it came to Durban?
Okay, so the history is significant for Durban because in 1860, the first ship that arrived from India with the Indians on board came in as indentured laborers. The ship was called Truro. And then 10 years later, another ship, the Belvedere, arrived on our coastal plains. At that time, Durban was called Port Natal. And this is where the indentured laborers first set foot in South Africa. So they came in as laborers, so as semi-slaves, if you want to call it that. You would know at that time, India as well as South Africa was under British rule. And the labor force was required in South Africa, and hence Indians were brought over by ship to the shores of Durban. So you would know that they came with their tradition and their cultures and hope, because they were promised a better life. Of course, they worked and they toiled in the sugarcane fields when they started their employment here in South Africa. But what they did not leave behind is their faith, their traditions and their cultures, and Deepavali or Diwali as we know it is one of those. So since then, you would know the history books tell us that these indentured Indians progressed in the field of education. One of the first tertiary education institutions was funded and established by the Indian community. They have also grown out and diversified into business and many other fields. Today, 164 years later, in fact, on the 16th of November will mark 164 years. To date, the Indians, you'll find these professionals across all sectors in society. And I'm proud to say that we contribute significantly to the economy of Durban. So yeah, so this is home. I'm actually the 4th generation Indian. My kids are now the 5th and my grandkids are the 6th generation. So this is home. As much as we identify with the culture and the tradition, and we love visiting India, we love the food, we still eat the same delicious Indian food in Durban. But Durban is home.
Interesting history. Tell us about Diwali. Why is it celebrated?
So Diwali is one of our festivals. We have many festivals that we celebrate, that we observe, many religious festivals. Diwali is a combination of 4 months of observances. Now in Hinduism, which is originally known as Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma is, if you translate it, it's an eternal path. It's a path or a religion that was established or that came about more than 5,000 years BC. We honor our ancestors, the Supreme Being. We honor our parents. We honor our traditions and our deities. So if you look at the pantheon of Hinduism, you would notice that the deities represent many of the natural elements. So we have, for example, Surya, the sun god, Vayu, the wind god. We have Lakshmi, the god of prosperity and light. So accordingly, we have a number of deities in our pantheon that represent different aspects of Hinduism, yet they emanate from the one supreme being. So it's like one person performing multiple functions with different names. So Deepavali marks then the victory of one of our deities named Lord Ram, who had annihilated the demons on his path of exile, and he then arrived back home after 14 years of exile in the forest. Ram represents an ideal man. So in all of his years in the forest, although he was a king, he was instructed to spend 14 years in exile, which he did. And although he was a king, he led the simple life in the forest. He honored his parents' wishes. He also honored his responsibility as a family man. He also honored his gurus, and for us, very important in our growth and our principled life is our teachers, our gurus. So he symbolizes an ideal human being, and his arrival back home after 14 years and the victory over demons then symbolizes the victory of good over evil. And that is the essence of Diwali. Although there are other epics or there are other stories in our mythology that will point out to similar types of victories, prosperity, as well as light over darkness. But Deepavali, the key focus is on the arrival of Lord Ram back to Ayodhya in India.
So in a country like South Africa, I know it's not all Indian people who celebrate this festival of lights. Who celebrates it?
All people of Sanatan Dharma origin. So as I mentioned, Hinduism is a phrase that has been now coined. However, the origins of our religion is Sanatan Dharma, a way of life. So whoever has adopted this way of life and honors the identified supreme being, they will celebrate. It extends across Hindus, Jains, as well as other dialects, people of other dialects within the country that observe a Hindu way of life. In the Hindu category, you would find a number of language groups. And although we identify differently in language, or we emanate from an area that has a different dialect, we all celebrate Deepavali because it emanates from our epics in Sanatan Dharma.
So how do people prepare for Diwali? Are there any specific customs that families need to?
So very importantly, it is a religious festival as much as it's celebratory. So we observe a fast. We observe, very importantly for us, the cleanliness of the environment. So homes are cleaned out, business premises are cleaned, and we do this so that we can welcome the mother of prosperity, Mother Lakshmi, who is the consort of one of the avatars of Lord Ram. So on Diwali day, our prayers focuses on Mother Lakshmi, and it is believed that having cleaned up your house and having prepared the place, having decorated your home, having created something that we call rangoli, which is paintwork or artwork on the floors and the walls, and lots of flowers and garlands, and you can imagine the color and the Indian tradition, and lots of lighting, and our lamps that we call diyas. That's the beginning of the celebration of Diwali. Actually, it's observed for over 5 days. And the first 4 days, we do the prep and the prep prayer. And the main day is Deepavali, where we do the Lakshmi Puja. And we then welcome positivity into our homes, to carry us for the next year. In certain parts of India, in fact, in the southern hemisphere, farmers celebrate because they welcome spring during this period. And spring is the time that they sow their seeds for harvest, and that's their sustenance. So there are various significances of Deepavali if you look at it from different perspectives. So absolutely celebratory, positive, and it's actually enjoyable. And enjoyed by, in South Africa, actually, it's enjoyed by our whole tapestry of population or race groups, if you want to call it that, because in South Africa, we all enjoy one another's culture. So we'd have our friends from other, demographic populations dressing up with our Indian wear, and we get together and we all, we dress up and we have a good time together. We share our, our sweets and all the delicacies that we prepare. And it's a very happy occasion. We've just come past this weekend where the South African Hindu Mahasabha, which is the mother body of Hindus in South Africa, hosted the Durban Diwali festival. And that is the largest festival outside of India. We had a footfall of more than 25,000 people. It was at the Sun Coast parking lot, and people of all cultures, all colors attended, and it was a huge celebration. So the whole city in Durban has embraced Diwali as this a celebration that we all get together and share and enjoy.
And tell us more about the delicacies, the food, the baking, what is that all about, and the sharing as well.
Okay. So that's a key part. We Indians identify with food, and I know many cultures in our country identify with food. So we go all out preparing delicacies, largely sweet, traditional sweets or sweet meats that we call it. We also prepare a lot of savory treats that we share. So a week ahead, perhaps the household is busy, the kitchen is busy, everybody gets involved. The kids are busy doing the decoration. The mums are in the kitchen. My mums work the hardest, I must say. And hopefully the dads will then get the trays ready and, help out in some way. So all of that prep begins actually weeks before, but in the 5 days leading up to the main celebration, it's very busy. And then the purpose of that prep is, especially the sweets, is that we offer this to our deity, who is Mother Lakshmi, our key focus for that day. And of course, sweetness brings positive energy. Sweetness brings good relations, mend relationships. It brings people together. So, everything about sweetness is positive. So hence, when we celebrate Diwali, we share sweetmeats with family and friends, and with all around us. But also, very importantly, I must mention that this is a time of giving as well. So we're very mindful of those who are less fortunate, and lots of prep go into accumulating, groceries and items that those that are less fortunate will require to prepare these sweet things in their homes. So we were also mindful of that. So a lot of charity work takes place across the city during our prep of Diwali. It's a time that we want everybody to be in a positive and celebratory mood.
You are looking very lovely, by the way, very colorful. Does color signify anything?
Color signifies vibrance. It signifies what Indian tradition is about. And of course, if it's dull colors, it's demure, but bright colors is always Indian in what how I perceive it. So there's nothing dull about Diwali. It's about the lights, it's about the color, it's about the flowers, it's about the paintwork, it's about the decoration. We use colored powders to create artwork on the floors and on the walls. So color is very important, and it's highly, even from a religious perspective, you would find a Hindu will never dress in black to perform their religious duties. You'll always find them in bright colors, in good colors, so that you welcome positivity.
Any last words for our viewers?
So, having lived in Durban and having experienced Deepavali all my life in Durban, I must say it's a very positive vibe. And I enjoy it with all my friends and family. Enjoy it with my office mates who all dress up in Indian now. And learning to eat the sweet meats that is quite a quiet taste, especially for different traditions. But the exposure to our culture, to our tradition, to what Indians value, what Hindus value, has been shared so widely that we all feel part of one community, the diverse tapestry of cultures in Durban. In fact, my colleagues, my friends are already from different race groups are already into Indian dancing. So on Diwali day, we do all of that and we have fun and we really enjoy what we do. And following Diwali, the next day is considered a new year for many of our cultures. So new beginnings, they welcome anything refreshing. Apart from, what I'd like to also add is, apart from the celebration and the religious festivities, Diwali also brings a sense of renewal. So we also psychologically and philosophically, we introspect and we also reflect on the year that has gone by. We, of course, rejoice in our achievements, and we then plan for what we want to achieve in the year going forward. And we believe that our prayers and the positive spirit of Diwali will, and the presence of Mother Lakshmi in our homes during that week will definitely afford us that. So, and we share that. We share that with the less fortunate, and we share that with family and friends. So that's very important for us as at the Deepavali celebration. Yeah, my closing words is I'd like to wish everybody Shubh Diwali. So in our culture, we don't say Happy Diwali. Well, we say it because that's what kids will understand, but it should be Shubh Diwali, meaning everything positive.
So Shubh Diwali.
Shubh Diwali. So when you meet your friends, you will say Shubh Diwali and not Happy Diwali. So, thank you for that, and I wish you all a Shubh Diwali, and I hope that you felt the presence and the excitement of the run-up to Diwali today in our conversation.
Yes, we did. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Maharaj.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Everyone in studio today, we'd like to wish you and everyone who's celebrating Diwali a Shubh Diwali.
Thank you.
That's it for this episode. From myself, Zimbili Mazibuko, and the entire team, it's goodbye. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe.